Hello, good evening, everyone. We are Martin and Henrik. We both work for Louis Vuitton.
So, Martin, I'm a supply chain project manager.
And I'm an IT project manager.
So, Vuitton is a French brand, part of the world leading group, luxury group, LVMH.
We are a worldwide company. Actually, we are present in more than 60 countries. We have our own group of stores. We only sell our products in our stores. As you can see there, is 460 stores all around the world.
And one of the key thing about our organization is that we have a fully vertical integration of our operation. We design our product, we manufacture our product in our own workshops, and we sell our product in our own distribution networks.
Which actually we think is the best organization for our industry. And you may know the leather goods that we have, but we have 7 activities. For example, the new one last year was the perfumes. And apart from that, we have the accessories, the clothes, watches, jewelry too.
The key challenge we are facing at the moment is as a core value, we never discount any of our products. No discounts, no sales, no wholesale. And this key element of our strategy, we have to maintain it and keep it in an international environment, 460 stores, 60 countries, so highly volatile environment. And we need to ensure that at any time, we don't have too much stock that we have to organize sales or things like this. So we have to maintain our operations in this very volatile international context. Then we went 10 years ago from a best-selling permanent portfolio of products towards a direction going much more to fashion industry, living with fashion show, seasonal collection, enlarged diversity of our products. And still, we have to maintain our core value is that we get a full control of our stock and that we sell our products full price all time. So, in that context, you would easily understand that supply chain is definitely a key success factor of our business model. And the challenge of that supply chain is that we have to have our product travel from our workshops, many based in France, where the brands had been created. And France, we are not talking about Paris, we are talking about countryside of France. And we have to transport our product from these 20 workshops to our 460 stores based in the main cities all around the world. So, one global and integrated supply chain from workshops to stores. One common goal ensuring the client service, so as almost all supply chain, but with 2 additional challenges. No discounts, we already sell it. No wholesale, we sell the goods in our own stores. And third, we have in our DNA a strong commitment to environment. Our supply chain has been ISO certified 2 years ago, and we have to make sure that year after years we had to keep this environment policy.
So now we're going to tell you a story. And before we start that story, we have to see the context, what was happening at that time. So as you see here, it was the IT project management. I first worked in the manufacturing department, and then I arrived in the IT, and they told me, the V model process, okay? It always works this way. You have a detailed design, then you have the build, whatever, and it took ages. And this model actually was quite inflexible, because this detailed design, it was a kind of a contract between a client and a supplier. We were working in the same company, but we didn't have the team spirit that we may have now. And in the middle of all of that, there were a lot of project managers, you know. And when there are a lot of project managers, we used to meet in meetings, and what happens? We talk about organization, about planning, about resources, and in the end, nothing happens. And that's what I'm trying to illustrate here, as you may see, you know, what is happening in between. And then there was a big bang, you know, once we had finished our project, we plugged and we prayed. because everything changed at this time. So we hoped everything would be okay. And in the end, the products were good. Were our tools working very good? No, they weren't. Because the operational teams, they used to have their spreadsheets, to support the variations of what was happening. And at this time, Martin went to see me. He had an idea, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Beginning of last year, we heard as a supply chain about a new planning methodology called Demand-Driven MRP, basically putting the demand of the customer in the heart of supply chain and inputting a pull flow system in our supply chain from the workshops to the stores. So I come to Henrik saying, okay, Henrik, I have this very strong concept. This is a key strategy for us. We need to implement it quickly. What can you do about it?
You know, it's hard, Martin. You know, just last week we validated our budget for the next year. So okay. At best, it could take 8 months, maybe. And then if we find some money, we could start a V-model project. And then it would take 1.5 years. So what about the end of 2018? Is it okay for you?
Well, no, actually, my boss strongly advised me to input that strategy in place 2017 and before the mid of the year. So what
okay.
Can we do about it?
We're going to do differently. We're going to do a hackathon. So before we explain what a hackathon is, it was quite emotional. It was a great time that we spent all together. Martin, for example, do you remember how many Red Bulls you drank that weekend?
As much as I can. Actually, my body couldn't support more. And Henrik, how much sleep did you get during that weekend?
Man, it was hard. I think I slept 5 hours that weekend. And during those 5 hours, on the floor, you know, and I think I was awakened 4 times, you know.
Yeah, and this was also concerning the 5 Anaplan consultants that worked for us during that week. So.
So let's see the video.
Bonjour, je suis participante à ce hackathon en Love Supply Chain. Je suis étudiante à l'école Télécom Paris-Tech.
En master spécialisé à l'école des ponts et chaussées.
Et je suis en alternance dans une compagnie maritime.
Ça va être une bonne expérience. L'école 42, c'est assez stylé, donc ouais, je suis content d'être là. Ouais.
La supply chain, c'est un sujet qui est super important et qui est de plus en plus important puisqu'en fait, vous le savez, vous le vivez au quotidien, on est dans un monde qui se transforme, qui va de plus en plus vite.
C'est un hackathon qui est très technique. C'était un vrai challenge pour nous.
On est très contents, surtout on est impressionné par l'implication qu'on a eue de nos collaborateurs en interne, les personnes de Louis Vuitton qui ont intégré les équipes.
Mon rôle en tant que mentor, c'est d'encadrer une équipe, surtout de les garder motivés pendant les 48 heures, les aiguiller dans leur choix, rester de bonne humeur et les encourager, surtout pas trop non plus leur mettre de pression.
Cette expérience doit nous permettre d'apprendre à changer nos modes de fonctionnement dans les entreprises. C'est aussi comment travailler différemment ensemble, plus simple, plus efficace.
L'équipe Supply Chain Louis Vuitton, c'est 15 nationalités et la diversité fait le succès des équipes.
Il y a un mot qui me vient en tête, c'est l'audace, de recruter de nouveaux talents qui viennent d'environnements complètement différents, dont on n'avait peut-être pas forcément l'habitude.
Très belle aventure, je pense que tout le monde est super content, super passionné et ça fait bouger l'entreprise dans le bon sens. Je pense qu'il va falloir qu'on s'inspire d'ici, qu'on s'inspire des résultats pour aller le généraliser dans d'autres environnements, on a d'autres problématiques de supply chain.
Un troisième hackathon, ouais, avec plaisir, jamais 203.
So hackathon actually is a hacking marathon. That's where it comes from. And we decided then to do it's a competition between some teams, and there's a delivery. It's an app, it's an information system, and there's always a winner. So we thought, okay, let's test this new technology with a hackathon. Anaplan, we heard about that, so we're going to test it. And then we're going to put students. So students, we went to the universities, and we wanted the diversity. So there were IT schools, there were engineering, there was business schools. So we wanted to get mixed all together. And where do we do that? École 42. École 42, I think there's one in San Francisco who opened last summer. It's the perfect place for a hackathon. Why? Because as you can see in the picture, there are a lot of computers. It's a new approach of teaching. It's not the way that we learn to teach. It's not there are no teachers. And it's not like the way we learned. We went to school and someone told us, it is this way, just learn it. No, it's not at all like that. It's a 24 hours a day school, 7 days a week, and they just have missions, these people. So we went there. As you see, there were a lot of computers, there were showers, there was a place to sleep. What else do you need, man?
And I guess a few pizza and kind of Red Bulls.
That's the doping, actually. You know, human mind is not able to code for 48 hours, so that's the doping.
Absolutely, and to make it happen, we have 12 Vuitton coach that helped the students to get where we want them to go, plus 5 consultants of Anaplan that helped the students to master the technology. In the end, it was a very rich event that enabled us to first test Anaplan and show the power, how powerful the technology is, and secondly, gives us a very strong insight about where we want to go in terms of supply chain planning. So it was super powerful also in terms of staff empowerment. More than 50 LV staff went during their weekends just seeing what was going around there and see all the ideas, the fresh ideas of the students. One unexpected winner that came out of the blue at the end of the weekend, and we did not saw that coming. 5, and in fact 6 since last week, students that joined our teams after the hackathon, so very powerful in terms of recruiting, because what best HR technique than seeing the students working for you for 48 hours under a lot of pressure. I mean, you definitely see the people you have in front of you. So yeah, that was quite powerful for this. And in the end, 4 breakthrough ideas that will change the way we see our supply chain. In terms of methodology, we talked about the demand-driven MRP, in terms of data visualization, in terms of machine learning, and most importantly, and that's what we are here today, we discover a new technology that is Anaplan. Thank you. And when we came back at the office on the Monday morning, wow, a lot of energy, 50 people that didn't know either Anaplan, either Vuitton, that built in a weekend some tools that were actually planning our supply chain. How can we reproduce this energy, this speed of development on our day-to-day basis?
We wanted to work like that, actually. That's what we told to our bosses. We want to work like that now.
And we were quite lucky, in fact.
Not the night, maybe.
Our bosses told us, okay, give you the key of the truck, as we say in French. And we started 2 projects. The first one concerning supply chain planning, supply chain operation planning, central distribution, so all the flow of finished goods coming from our workshops to our 6 regional platforms spread around the world. So this application, as you will easily understand, is absolutely key for us, because most of our business is planned in this application. And it has to run daily because the workload of our warehouse rely on the calculation. In the end, thanks to the speed of calculation, thanks to the new methodology we are putting in place, we could save up 30% of stock level in region. So for us, that was absolutely key to make our business more sustainable.
And the second app was a sales forecasting and business planning application for the shoes business unit. It's not so critical as the one that Martin was talking before. It's about a monthly process. And this one was, this project was launched to replace a database, an Access database actually. So it was a process held by one person. And this way we could share it and made a collaborative process with all around the world. Because sales forecasting is not done in the headquarters. It's done all around the world with people that see what's happening. And then, okay, we started 4 new apps that are in progress now. And we realized at that time that something has changed. You remember the last slide you saw before? Something has changed. We were not working the same way. And the most important thing was the mindset. The mindset completely changed. As you may see on the slide, for example, the first thing is that we had all the same target. We were not anymore fighting during the whole day. You know, the micromanagement with the silos and different targets. Now we had, and we shared the same one. So, you know, at the end of the day, it was not like, Martin, I don't want to see you anymore. Now I ask him, man, do you want to have a drink?
And we'll try to grab a beer as much as we can.
Then it was empowerment, as you said before, you know, we have to take decisions very fast. We don't have to validate everything with everyone, with all of the middle management, whatever. Now we are there, we are doing a sprint, and we take the decision. We go, maybe we are wrong, but then we test and we correct. And third thing, which is very important from an information system point of view, is that we are trying to simplify our tools. I mean, we had black boxes that we called before. We had results and we did not understand. The planner did not understand what was going on there. So now we are trying to cover 90% of the cases. I mean, the 10% other are exceptions. So we're going to treat them as they are exceptions, but we want to understand the 90%.
I guess one of the key other things that change is that we are building our Anaplan application in an iterative way. Prior to that, in the old model we had to build huge specification that almost nobody was understanding. And now we have a much healthier approach. I mean, we are starting smaller bunch of application, and we test it on a limited scope of product. We start with permanent product, having a very simple way of distributing, and then we enlarge the scope a bit and a bit and a bit. And meanwhile, we are testing our application since day one almost, or I guess 2 weeks after we started the Drive central distribution application, there were 100 SKUs, 5% of our turnovers that were managed under this application. And then we enlarged to new product management, to CE distribution, etc., etc. So the application was growing, but we were able to test it by real end user from day one. So meaning that we are not talking about Big Bang anymore. We are just in the middle of the ramp up, and we are quite cool. We are here today in San Francisco, and we are quite sleeping well. And this is definitely not what would have happened in the old model, for sure. When we were switching from one system to another, it took a month of nightmare for the project manager. So iterative way was something super important for us. And then the team implication, although Henrik mentioned about the empowerment, but what changed a lot is that having the team empowered makes them also super implicated in what they are doing. I mean, it's no longer you telling to your editor, do that, and that's not correct, redo that, which was definitely not working well. It's you do, it's your own responsibility, and in the end, it's much more interesting for the teams. So
yeah, for the IT, what was very interesting, because they were used just to receive a call when it was not working. I mean, and now they participate, they take decisions. So for these people, it was amazing. You know, they were very motivated. And then, well, we just added that thanks to Anaplan, we have the ultimate agile tool, because we are able to change. If we want to change something, we can do it by ourselves. I mean, we've seen a lot of agile projects, but always we need someone to come and we have to set it up, and it takes some time. Now we can do it by ourselves.
And yeah, the first application were super successful, and now we all of a sudden have this tool, very powerful, and we want to switch it, enlarge it to our full planning system today. We are talking about industrial planning, commercial and business planning, operation planning, full activities. Everyone is super enthusiastic about this new application. But to do so,
yeah, now we think big, okay? We did 2, now we want to do a lot. So that's what we call the hidden part of the iceberg. Because we see the apps there, but there's a lot of work. If you want to create a new technology for all of your process, you have to create the base. And then you can build up whatever. So then we created these new streams in our company that there are leaders as for one project. And we work on all of them, actually. So for example, as you may see now, the project management changed. We don't have the same roles that we had before. And now we have to define them. Who is doing what, who, when, etc., all of the phases. Documentation, we still don't know. We are discovering. What do we have to document? Is it gonna be useful or not? Third one, versioning, ALM, is very important for us. As Martin said, every morning at 6, someone is just planning the daily distribution of the whole company. So no one can change that like that, you know? We have to have this ALM functionality. It's very, very important. Then run organization. Is there a problem? Who has to answer for that? Well, there are some committees very important because we share the strategic, tactical, and operational point of view with Anaplan. And then the data and integration architecture, we'll see it later, which is very important actually. If you want to really build up a lot of apps, this point is critical. It's critical. And then the data management, that's an old subject, you know. We already know that sometimes some people wanted to talk one language and another people wanted to talk another one. I'm thinking about hierarchies and all of these things. We already know that problem, but we see an opportunity here. So now we are holding meetings with all of the people. Okay, which is the product hierarchy for all of the company? Come on, guys. Let's try to find a solution for that. That's a very, very important thing before we connect and we integrate all of the apps. If we don't have that, it's going to be a nightmare. And in terms of data, we were very lucky because we had a central database with all of the information. If you think about the timing, we started last June, and we already have 2 and 4 very, very, very soon. Why were we able to do that so fast? Because we already had the information with what we call a data lake. Okay? And all of our legacies are sending the information to that data lake. And in that data lake, we send information, the transactional to each of the apps. We filter by the scope of the products, and then the referential data to the data hub. And then we send information back. We don't keep the historical data in Anaplan. We send it back to our database. And then the reporting tools are connected to the database. We don't want to keep track of all of the planning of all of the days into Anaplan. I mean, we do it, and then we send it away. If we want to analyze why we take that decision, we go to our data warehouse. But very, very important for everyone, I think that having the information makes the projects very agile because the flow from the data lake to Anaplan is quite fast. And the other one takes more time to integrate that. So we want to really thank you for being here. For us, it's been a pleasure to come to San Francisco. We thank again Anaplan for inviting us. And here you see the pictures of the 2 squads that did the first 2 apps for the company. And if you have any questions, now we will answer for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How many engineering powers are using the tool in IT and then as final users?
Okay. Well, we have 2 different kind of application. In the end, we have the central distribution application. So it's very limited number of users, 5, 6 users maximum, and very much about parameters, not that much of inputs. And the other one, Spirit, in the end, it's much more a collaborative tool, and we're talking about 30 people, something like this, between central teams and teams, business team in zone.
And the new ones, there'll be finance to industrial department and merch. So we'll be around 100 people very soon and growing up.
Yeah.
So in your architecture, you had data hub and data lake. What, you know, and passing and using it in Anaplan. So if you did a scenario, you created some projection, and you said, okay, we're freezing this in time, you would send the data to a data warehouse then, so that you can refer to it later, and then kind of wipe it away. How did that architecture work?
That's quite sensible, actually, and we are not sure what we are doing. The thing is that we want,
yet,
to be honest with you, yet. The thing is that, well, it's not working. Yeah. The thing is that, are you talking about the data hub here? Yeah, well, the best thing for us, it would be to do everything in the data lake, to be honest with you. I mean, if I have to choose a product scope or whatever, I would like to do it as an IT guy in the data lake because it's very clean to do it this way. But at the same time, the ones that are doing that are the end users. So I don't want them to be in 10 different systems, information systems. So in the end, it will be an Anaplan. Even if the flow, it's quite difficult to monitor, but.
That's an age-old question right
there. Yeah, exactly.
So, want to take the lead? I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great story. I find specifically the hackathon a great idea. Why did you choose the approach? What do you expect from it?
You know, Frank Lumor received the prize this morning because he had the vision. And actually, it was the second time. he already tried one proof of concept with Anaplan, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And he insisted at this time because he told us, I mean, guys, I think there was no other information system in the market, to be honest. We had nothing. And it was the perfect time to try it again. And the hackathon was amazing because we were together for 48 hours. So those people that you saw on the picture, all of them were in the hackathon. We wanted to work together. So
yeah, it definitely created a spirit, and yeah,
visionary. I mean.
The data lake, the French word, or data lake, where did the word come from?
Data lake.
But it's not a French word.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Last
question. Okay.
So my question is, you know, same with the data lake to data hub. What kind of migration are you guys looking at? APIs, Anaplan connectivity?
Now we use Anaplan Connect, yeah, with Windows batches. But we want to explore the new hyperlink. We want to really explore that because it's based on the skills of two guys. So if they ever want to leave tomorrow, it's going to be hard. Yeah.
So,
well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.